So I wanted to make a test of the built-in image stabilization in Imovie to see how efficient it is or how useful it is. And for this I was using three different video clips. One when I was walking around holding the camera without stabilization. We can actually listen to what I'm saying in this clip because I will explain what it's for. It's from a test of the built-in camera stabilization. I am now shooting without any image stabilization at all. It's set to off, and this is what it looks like. I'm holding the camera in my Imovie Gorilla Pod and of course trying to hold it steady. And then we have a clip when my wife is walking around. It's a very shaky clip. And lastly, we have the least shaky clip, which is a sliding product photo. But first, let's have a look at how the image stabilization actually works. In order to create a stable footage, Imovie will actually crop your original footage. And as you can see here, you will have a frame that is compensating for movements. And if you imagine that this corner here, if this was a very shaky footage, you would have to crop it even tighter here in order to get a stable footage. So the shakier the footage is, the tighter the crop will be. And there's also one more thing. It's if you would have a shaky still image, you could just crop it the same all over the picture. But when you have a moving subject, or when you have a video, you will have a parallax effect between the subject and the background. And Imovie would have to crop them differently, but that's not possible. So it's actually manipulating the background, and that can give you a slightly yellowish feeling, kind of like a rolling shutter effect, but it's not exactly the same. But you will see it when we look at the stabilized footage. So pay attention to what happens in the background. All right, let's make the actual test. I have 3 clips here, and then I have 3 copies of those clips here that I have stabilized. And then I have put them side by side to compare the original video with the stabilized video, and we will see how big the difference is. And first of all, here is where you can turn on and turn off the stabilized shaky video. So for this first clip, which is the medium shaky clip, I will try to use 100%. I believe Imovie is actually by default suggesting about 33%, and that would look something like this. And as you see, when I increase the amount of stabilization to 100%, you can actually see what I mean, that it was cropping the footage more and more. But this is still not too cropped to be a meaningful or useful video. So I will actually use 100% here to really compare the difference. But for this super shaky footage, let's have a look here. This is the original footage, which is not stabilized at all. And as I increase the amount of stabilization, you can see it's a much tighter cropping. So if I would use 100% here, this is not usable. I can't use this footage when you can't even see the face here. So for this clip, I will try to use about 50%. And as you can see, you will actually see this effect here in the background, and you can see that it is a bit yellowish. And finally, for this least shaky footage, I will actually use 100%. You can see it doesn't crop too much. So this is the original footage, and this is a crop of the stabilized footage. Alright, so let's put this side by side and see how it looks. Overall, this looks good and is very useful in most cases, unless you have extremely shaky footage. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions regarding this. From Sweden with love, thanks for watching.